Now, the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial has been postponed again to the 19th of May. It's to allow Advocate Charles Mnisi time to prepare his representation of accused number one, Muzi Sibiya. Mnisi filed a court application requesting more time, arguing that he still was not ready to proceed. He was previously given 2 months and 3 weeks to familiarize himself with Sibiya's case following the passing of his lawyer, Advocate Tulani Mgomezulu, back in December of last year. But last week, he indicated that he was simply overwhelmed by the size of Sibiya's file. 5 men are on trial for the 2014 murder of the Bafana captain. Let's get the latest now with our Linda Mnisi, who was there. Another postponement. It almost seems unbelievable, given the reprimand that was handed to Mnisi last time he asked for a postponement. And just to be clear, it is 2 months and 3 weeks is what Judge Rata Mokgotleng had given him initially.
Absolutely, Iman. And you'd recall that last week the judge even described that request for a postponement as an abuse of the system, because some of the things that he needed to establish is how far Advocate Mnisi was in terms of preparation, what still needs to be done, and how long would he need to prepare and ready himself. But those questions were not answered, leading the judge to giving him a final, what he described at the time as a final postponement, and indicating that if you are not ready come Tuesday being today, then your client would have to intercede. But what we saw today was Advocate Mnisi coming back. In fact, if I take a step back, Advocate Mnisi responded to that and said that if the court is expecting him to be prepared by Tuesday, meaning today, then he would have to pull out of the case. That was a threat that he made. But he came today, and instead of pulling out as he had threatened, and filed an application to say, well, I'm still not ready and I still need more time. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
I'm well aware of the position and the stance that the court took last week on Monday, where the court indicated that that should have been the last postponement that the court is granting.
Yeah.
And by hook or crook, today the matter must be proceeded with. In instances where I am, in circumstances where I am still not yet ready to proceed, then accused number one will have to intercede. In other ways,
yeah, quite.
He'll have to stand up, raise his hand and say, I'm ready to proceed. The reason why I actually filed that notice of motion, my lord, was simply to indicate that I am still not yet ready to proceed. As I'm standing now, I am still not yet ready to proceed. I've tabled all the factors which are inhibiting my readiness to proceed in that notice of motion.
So there he indicates he's not prepared to continue, Iman. And one of the things, or some of the things that, were considered last week was the issue of Mnisi having been part of the case even before Judge Rata Mokgotleng.
Since the start.
Absolutely. And if you remember, Judge Rata Mokgotleng came into this case in July of 2023. So Mnisi has been part of this case even before then. The judge highlighted at the time that because you are arguing and you're saying that your clients are charged under the principle of common purpose, you had the right to cross-examine all the witnesses, even though they did not say anything that linked your client. If you take, for example, the issue of the firearm, obviously it was directed at Mnisi's client, but the other lawyers as well cross-examined. So the judge said, you were cross-examining every witness, whether they came here and spoke about your client or not. So you understand the context of this particular evidence. So the issue now is you need more time, and murder is nothing mysterious. You know, you can't go through all these 60,000 pages and still be able to prepare. So what he was considering at the time is the fact that you were part of the case, and as an experienced lawyer, you would know how to prepare for a murder case like this one. But let's take a listen to what Mnisi further detailed in his application.
Although I have been part of the matter since its inception and has been following the trajectory of the evidence, that does not translate to the fact that I know each and every little aspect of the case and the evidence which has been led thus far against accused number one. I have never consulted with him before. I've never received any instructions from him before, and never have I given him any legal advice before. In fact, I started to realize that there's so much that I did not follow in his case, not this, but in his case, when I am preparing this matter as his new legal representative. Paragraph number 24. It is very difficult as a legal practitioner to represent an accused who's facing a potential life imprisonment on the basis of the charge or the charges that he is facing, to prepare the defense of his case with the feeling that a gun is being held over your head and are expected to do things out of the ordinary. This takes away the creativity, spontaneity, and the art of independent thinking in the conduct of his case, and this does not resonate with the right to a fair trial.
Well, it's unbelievable. Advocate Mnisi getting his way there. Linda Mnisi, thanks for bringing that to us. This matter postponed until the 19th of May, but he's got to come to court on the 5th to give the judge a status update as to his preparedness.